So, you're about to play a wizard, the master of the arcane arts, but you're not quite clear on how you'd like to roleplay that wizard. Well, don't worry, we got you covered. Welcome to Demystifying D&D. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a wizard. Now, wizards are my personal favorite class in the game. I just love how they can be so different depending on the spells you choose or the school of magic you decide to pursue. They're my favorite. Anytime I actually get to play D&D, which is not often, I play a wizard. When you're creating a wizard, here are some things that you can consider to give your wizard a special amount of flair. The stereotype of wizards, because they have such a high intelligence, is to make your character very bookish, very intelligent, have them use very verbose words, but we don't necessarily have to play into that when we're creating a wizard. And in fact, sometimes it's fun to take the tropes of a certain class and try to flip them on their head, try to find a new way to show a wizard. The first question to consider is, what made your wizard commit to studying the arcane arts? Do they come from a family of wizards and wanted to follow the trend? Or were they pressured into following the trend to keep up the family legacy? Or maybe they became a wizard because their family had no magic and they saw it as an opportunity to rise up in society. Whatever the reason, give some time thinking about why your character chose to undergo years of strenuous study to have access to magic. The second question to consider is, how did your wizard learn magic? Were they an archmage's apprentice who perhaps over time learned to harness the power of the weave? Or did they maybe do something bad and steal a powerful spellbook from the archmage? Or perhaps they had a giant fellow arrive at their house and say, "You're a wizard, Harry." Maybe they didn't get into the wizarding school, so they were forced to sneak in every night to the library to try to learn as much as they could under the cover of darkness. Those are some of my ideas that hopefully get your imagination juices flowing, but ultimately consider how your wizard went about learning magic. The third question to help you flesh out your wizard is, what school of magic is your wizard drawn to, and why? Now, this question is jumping a little bit ahead in the wizard's class progression if you're starting your campaign at level 1. And by a little ahead, I mean 1 level. At level 2, you get to choose the school of magic that your wizard is most proficient in. So this is something to consider because it will say a lot about your character's backstory and perhaps their personality. For example, a wizard who's fascinated with divination may have some immense desire to see the future because they always felt their life was in chaos. Or perhaps as a child, they saw a vision of a future event, a cataclysmic one that would destroy the world, and they decided to study divination magic so they could better understand what they saw. If you choose evocation, then maybe your wizard was picked on growing up, and so they sought a form of magic that would allow them to strike back against bullies and villains. Or maybe they just like blowing things up.
Big ass titties!
The school that you choose will dictate certain elements of your wizard and will help give you a lens in which to view choices your character makes. It will come down to their clothing style, perhaps the way they communicate with others, what they're interested in or looking for on separate adventures, so be sure to give it some thought. The fourth thing to consider when you're creating a wizard is all about your spellbook. Now, Runesmith has an amazing video on this topic that I will link below so you can check it out. Honestly, it inspired me a lot with some of my wizards that I came up with, so definitely give it a good look. The crux of what he says is, can we make spellbooks more interesting? Not all wizards have to carry a spellbook. Perhaps your wizard has a mind palace like their Sherlock Holmes. Or maybe they have the spells tattooed all over the body like they're in a Christopher Nolan film. Any Memento fans out there? If they do maintain a traditional spellbook, what kind of shape is it in? Do they keep it pretty organized? Is it more chaotic? Is this a spellbook that they were gifted when they were younger and they've kept it over all these years? Basically, the way that your wizard maintains their spells and their spellbook says a lot about the character. The final question to consider when thinking about how you want to roleplay your wizard is, how does your wizard feel about their intelligence? In most parties, the wizard will have the highest intelligence score in the group. Do they get easily frustrated talking to the barbarian whose plan is usually smash? Do they have trouble picking up social cues because they are often preoccupied with thoughts of the arcane? There have been some thinkers in history that have viewed their intelligence as a curse. Yet there are others that view it as a way to help humanity. And then there are some who view it as a way to dominate people. Consider what effect having a higher intelligence than most of the people the wizard interacts with might have on their personality. Those are 5 questions to help you come up with a unique personality and blend that can make your wizard stand out from the rest. Let us know in the comments what kind of interesting wizard you come up with. And if you have any suggestions for what you'd like us to demystify next, please let us know. Until next time, no guts, no story. And this should be gone by the next video I record.